hoffentlich. Hi, friends. We are live, hopefully. Like I said, this is my first live stream, so we are still figuring out the whole technical situation. But I am really excited to be here with you today. Let me know where you are all from, if you're watching live from wherever you are. Hi from Barcelona, that's so exciting. I was just in Barcelona actually. We are here in Spain as well. We are in Granada at the moment, and it's very hot and dry, but it's absolutely beautiful. Hi, hello. I'm so excited to see you all. Wow, I have some lemon water here, and my husband is about to make me a little coffee so that we can hang out and chat. Oh, hello. I love seeing all of your comments. Ah, that's amazing. Hi from Canada. Wow. India. That's so crazy. I love seeing how this community is just growing all the time, and we are literally like a little family, like all over the world. It's so beautiful. Germany, hi. Oh, also I want to say to all of my German friends, this Livestream will be in English. Der Livestream wird in Englisch sein, denn der Großteil der Follower, die jetzt gerade online sind, sind aus der ganzen Welt und nicht jeder versteht Deutsch. Deswegen habe ich mich dafür entschieden, den ersten Livestream jetzt auf Englisch zu machen. Yes, so I will be speaking in English so that everyone will understand. I hope that's okay. South Africa. Aww. So happy to see you all. Philippines, wow, that's crazy. All right, friends, so we are here today for a little Q&A. And I asked my community on Instagram if they want to send me some questions over for me to answer. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, you haven't probably seen it. And I got lots and lots of questions. Hi from Austria, hi from Switzerland, hi from the Netherlands. Wow. Oh, my heart is just so full. Aw, France, Rome. That's beautiful. Okay, so the questions. I got many, many questions, and I tried to order them in a way that answers at least most of the questions. I can't answer them all, obviously. I got over 50. So yes, I will be answering some of them today, and then maybe later I will see if there are some comments in the comment side, and if there are some questions there, I will be answering them as well. So yeah, let's get started. I'm hoping that I will soon get my coffee from my beautiful husband who's working in the background. Hello from USA, hi from Indiana, Budapest, wow, Turkey, Finland. So crazy to me to see where you are from. It's beautiful. Okay, so let me start. The first question that I got, I'm going to have to look at my question box over here, was what is your journey, and when and how did you start practicing yoga? That was probably one of the questions I got the most from everyone. And so yeah, let's just dive into it. I started my, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I started my journey. Where did I start my journey? Well, I started it in Germany, obviously. And I wasn't very sure of who I was or who I wanted to be when I was younger. And the path I was on was very much already prepared for me, if you know what I mean. So I was studying basically for the sake of studying, because that's just what you do. And I didn't really know who I am back then or what I wanted. So I just started studying when I was about 21, I think. Before that, I actually lived in Australia for a year and a half. When I was younger, when I was 18, I went there, lived there for a year and worked there. And it was absolutely beautiful. So let me know if some of you are from Australia as well. But yes, I started studying business management actually, and then I finished my bachelor, and then still didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So I did my master's as well, because that's what you do. And then, oh, my coffee is arriving. Thank you. And then did my master's. And during that time, I was in a very unhealthy relationship. Let's just say that. It was pretty toxic. And when I got out of that relationship, that's really when a lot of my self-awareness journey started. And that was just the best thing that could have ever happened to me. And so I made the decision to quit my uni when I just started to dive into myself. After that relationship ended, it was like a big opening for me in my inner self. And I didn't know so many things back then. It was just, everything was just paved out for me, and I wasn't sure what I wanted my life to look like, but I was becoming clearer every day on what I didn't want. And so I was in uni. I was pretty much almost done with my master's degree. So I only had to write my thesis, I think it's called. And that would have taken me like 7 weeks or so. But that was actually the point where I decided to quit uni and to go to Thailand to do my yoga teacher training. And of course, my family and lots of my friends and my colleagues from uni, they weren't happy at all. But I did it anyway because yoga, so that was another question I got a lot when my journey with yoga started. And it was around that time when I was in that, like, leaving that toxic relationship. I really dove deep into yoga, and I had a really intense, deep self practice at that point. Like, I wouldn't go into yoga classes, but I would just practice at home for myself for hours. Like, I would do yoga and meditation for an hour and a half every single day, every night. And it was such a profound healing experience for me to dive into the practice of yoga at that point in my life, because it broke open so many things. And it was like a stone that started rolling inside of me, basically. And that was the point where I was like, the first time in my life where I actually felt like, this is meaningful, yoga. And there's something there that has so much more depth than everything else I'm currently doing in my life. And so the question whether I should stay and finish my uni or whether I should go and do my teacher training in Thailand, somewhere I've never been before, it wasn't even a question to me. It was like, of course I have to stop. Of course I have to not be here, because now I know the truth of what I want in my life. I mean, I wasn't clear on what I wanted in my life. I hadn't like a clear vision to becoming a yoga teacher. I just knew that there was something and that I needed to follow it. And that was just the best decision of my entire life. Yeah. And another question I got a lot was which teacher training I did. And like I said, I went to Thailand. I went to a little island called Koh Phangan. If for those of you who've ever been to Thailand, you probably heard of the island. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. Cheers. And I went to a school called Luna Alignment School, and I did an alignment teacher training, which was basically based on the teachings of Iyengar. So it was very much like a therapeutic yoga, like based on therapeutic yoga principles. So we would learn a lot about yoga therapy and the anatomy of the human body and how to treat people who are ill with yoga. And that was super interesting to me, and I really dove deep into this. And the styles that we were being taught there were different. So we did a lot of hatha, vinyasa, we did some yin, we did alignment, obviously, a little bit of ashtanga. But our teacher, Tal was her name, such a beautiful woman. She was very deeply inspiring to me because she was so rooted in her feminine essence. And I've never met anyone who was like that. So that was very, very inspiring to me. And she really encouraged everyone to find their own style of teaching. But I hadn't really found my own style of teaching yet. I was just kind of like following what was given to me. And then after the teacher training, we stayed in Southeast Asia, and we were traveling for many, many months. And then we came to Berlin, where we lived for about 2 years, I think. And in Berlin, which that's another question that I got a lot, is did you teach in-person classes before you started teaching online? And I did. I taught yoga in Berlin in different studios. And it wasn't really my thing because the yoga scene in Berlin is very, how do I say this without offending anyone? And I don't like to generalize. It was just the yoga scene I came in contact with was very much like fitness based. So people would come to my class and they would expect to get a sweat on, like to really train their entire body. And I had people regularly in Berlin leave the class before Shavasana because they thought it was a waste of time. And so the entire, also, you got paid very shitty as a yoga teacher in Berlin. So all of these things really took the wind from underneath my wings. Is that how you say it? Because it just didn't feel like the place where I should be teaching. And so I stopped for a little bit. And that was also around the time where I started my photography, because some of you may know, some of you don't. I need to take a sip. I am actually also a photographer next to being a yoga teacher. And around that time in Berlin, I started really getting deeply into photography, and I started working as a photographer. And at the beginning, I would photograph yoga teachers. I would always only photograph women. It would just come very naturally. Only women would come to me at the beginning. And I would photograph yoga teachers and women doing yoga on their yoga mat. And what was very interesting to me was that my photography, just like my yoga teaching, but I'll get into that in a moment, changed very intuitively and very naturally evolved into a more feminine, more sensual style of photography. So women that would come to me, it would just be less and less about yoga and more about embodying their own feminine nature and capturing that. And now, I didn't know back then, but now when I just reflect on it, I know that it was because I started, during that time, I really truly started to allow my own self to express my own feminine more freely and to express my own sensuality. And so all the clients that I had were really just a reflection of the work I did on my inner self. So it's always just a mirror, you know, it's so interesting. So yes, my business just evolved because myself evolved. And that hasn't changed until today. And coming back to yoga, that's another question I got a lot was, where did you pick up sensual yoga? And I really didn't pick it up anywhere. It was just that my practice, just like my photography, naturally evolved into a more feminine, more sensual style. So what happened really was that I started to notice myself moving differently, like starting to move in asanas where one usually doesn't move that much. Like in asanas where you just hold the pose, I would start to like move my hips, move my shoulders, and wiggle my body. That's how it started. And it would just come very naturally because a lot of the times I wasn't actually practicing in a class. I was practicing at home in my own sacred space. So I was allowing myself to just listen to my body. So when my body said, hey, maybe you should like wiggle your hips a little bit, I allowed myself to do that because there was no one there and I could just express my feminine being. And that just felt amazing in my body. So I continued doing it. And then I started to incorporate it into my teaching because I was still teaching yoga, but I was mostly teaching it online to private students. I wasn't teaching it in person in Berlin, and I wasn't yet having a YouTube channel. So I would just do either online classes for many people or online classes for private students. So I would slowly incorporate those movements into these classes, and it would resonate so much with so many people. And that's just how I knew it feels amazing in my body. It feels amazing in their body. And why not go deeper into this? Because when I then researched like feminine yoga or sensual yoga, because I wanted to do it myself, I wanted to have like a class that I could follow, there wasn't much online. And even if there were some classes online, usually they were filmed pretty badly and the quality was pretty shitty. And so I just like, as you can tell, because I am really just, I love good quality. It's probably because of my photography and videography, it's just all flowing together, but I like when videos are done well and when the quality is good and when you look at the things and they're just like, they're beautiful for the eye, you know? It doesn't just feel good in your body, it also feels good in your brain, and it's just a thing, you know? I like good quality. And so I saw that there wasn't anything out there, and I started sharing it online with YouTube, and here we are now. And before I continue the questions, I'm gonna look at the comments and just say hello. Hello, friends. Yes, your photography style is actually very nice. Thank you so much. I love reading all of your comments. Thank you so much. Wow, thank you. Natalie from Berlin, say hello to my old hometown for me, please. Yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of Berlin actually, but I did like living there. It's just, I think it's always like a hate-love relationship. It's interesting. It makes me so happy to read all of your comments. Really, truly, thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have some kind of a beverage. Okay, let's get into more questions. You love a retreat in Spain. I will actually be having another retreat in person in Spain, probably in September, but it will only be for German-speaking people, women, actually. Which brings me to my next question, which was, and I got that a lot as well, what's your biggest source of income? Or what are your sources of income? So, my sources of income, first of all, obviously, my photography. And that also includes my mentorship for female photographers, because I also offer mentoring for female photographers. Yes, so that. Then I make money off of being a yoga teacher. So that currently mostly only includes YouTube. And then thirdly, I offer workshops and retreats for women. I have some workshops that I did online, but a lot of workshops and retreats are in person. And most of the time, up until now, most of them were in German for my German ladies. So yes, and all of these things are pretty much how I make a living. And I can't really pinpoint which one of those is the biggest source of income, because, and I think that's the beauty of being self-employed, it is very fluid. So it's just ever changing, ever evolving, depending on how I feel, depending on how much work I put into one of those three areas. It just creates more income. And then I naturally step away a little bit from one of those areas and, give my presence and my attention into another one of the areas. So it's just very fluid, which I know can be very intimidating for a lot of people when it comes to self-employment, and why many people don't choose to go there, because you never know how much money you will make every single month. It is always changing, definitely always changing, but that's actually what I like about it. It's very fluid, and I enjoy having the freedom to choose where I want to focus my attention in. And I am also a very creative person. I love creating things, new projects, whatever. And whenever I am very deeply in a project, some of the other things that I'm doing, they naturally just get a little bit neglected, but not in a bad way. I'm just sort of like drawing my energy to that one project, and then once that's finished, I can draw my energy back, and that way I get to be very intuitive and very feminine in my work as well, which I love. Okay, let's look at some more questions. I love Berlin summer and I hate Berlin winter. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure every single person in Berlin feels the same. Where can we register for your German retreat in September? It's not online yet. I will be doing it with a friend of mine, Mia, the one that I have been doing all of my other retreats. But it's not online yet. We will share it on Instagram and on my website. Once it's online, it will probably be online by the end of this month or maybe next month. Yes. Love reading your comments. Yoga in nature is the embodiment of self-care. Yes. Yes, I agree. Oh, nature is my biggest inspiration. Another question that I got, what's your biggest inspiration? Nature, all day, every day. Nature and love. Love is just, it's everything. Like the essence of love. And I don't just mean love like the way you love your partner, but just the embodiment of love for every single creature, the love for nature, the love for your parents, the love for everything, just the love for yourself. It's just the frequency of love and nature. That's my biggest inspiration. Okay, oh, what's happening to my website? Well, good thing you're asking. It has been down for a long time now, I know. That's because I have so many projects and I can't come to it all. But it will go live. My website will go live next Sunday. And not only will my website go live, but here comes the big news. I've shared the big news already with my Instagram community, so if you follow me on Instagram, you already know. But if you don't, my friends, my beautiful online family, I have created something so beautiful and special for you. And I cannot wait to share it with you. Oh my God, I get so excited talking about it. I have created an online retreat, which you can purchase as a program. And wow, I have poured my heart and soul into the creation of this program, of this retreat for the past 3 months now, or 4. I don't even, it's been a long time. And it is just everything I am. It is everything I teach. It is everything I embody. It is just me in a nutshell, and packed very pretty. It is a 5-day online retreat, and it is called Exploration Through Movement, Your Sensual Self. So this retreat will be a journey of sensuality and movement, in which you will learn to embody your own sensual self. And the retreat was, of course, inspired by nature, and it was especially inspired by the energy of the ocean, because every single class that I ever filmed was filmed right next to the powerful energy of the ocean. So the ocean energy is completely infused into the retreat. And I am so excited to share it with you, because I have been working on it and like really diving deep into the creation process, and haven't really been able to share much yet, but that's why I'm so excited to just share it with you now. Yes, and because I shared it on my Instagram before, I got a question on my Instagram regarding the retreat, which was whether it will be available in English or in English and German. Well, it will be available in English. For now, it will only be available in English, which is simply because it is so much work to create it in German also, that I have decided to, for now, only launch the English version of the retreat. However, I have created everything in a way that it can all be created in German as well. And I will most likely, as you can see, I'm very fluid, intuitive. I will most likely create the retreat in German as well. However, I don't know when that will be. It really depends on the feedback that I get. If there are many people who tell me that it's really hard for them to understand English and they really want to have it in German because otherwise they just can't flow into the practices, then I will create it in German. And if there are enough people who are interested, I will be creating it in German, and I will probably create it the next coming months, and then in a couple of months it will be available in German. But for now, it will only be available in English, and probably if you're listening to this live stream talking to me now, you understand English and it should be fine. So many questions. Aw, thank you so much. Thank you, loves. Alexandra is asking if I will be opening an online yoga studio. And I've thought about it. But then the retreat came, the online retreat that I have created, that I am still creating. And that just felt more true to me right at this moment, because I am not at a point in my life where I can make sure that I can create consistent enough content for an online studio for you guys. Because if I create an online studio in the future, I want it to be like amazing. I want there to be so much beautiful content, and I also don't only want there to be my content, I want there to be many teachers in there to share a more like sensual style of yoga. Like really, that's my vision. But for now, I don't have the time to create it. The retreat itself took so much time. It is like my baby. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever created. And like I said, I cannot wait to share it with you. But I also have a life, and I also have my photography, and I also have my in-person retreats and my workshop with women. And so it's just not possible for me right now to create an online membership kind of style. Maybe in the future. So yeah, my friends, in this retreat, I want to talk a little bit more about the retreat, because I got so many questions on Instagram about it, like what is it gonna entail, what are we gonna do, etc. So the retreat will include not only yoga and movement practices, it will also include breathwork practices, pleasure practices, embodiment practices, and sacred tea rituals. So we will be holding sacred tea rituals together. And everything that I filmed, of course, is in a very high quality, because that's just how I like to work. I like it to look nice and to have a certain level of professionalism. Is that the word? Anyway, so it will include so much. That's also actually another question that I got, which was, wait, let me read it. What does your everyday practice with yourself look like, and how do you nurture your feminine? And I have a catalog of practices that I just either learned or got taught, or just that I have collected over the years of my own practice, of my own life experience. And I just pretty much on a daily just choose from that catalog what I want to flow through in that day, depending on what I need, depending on how deeply I want to connect with my feminine, how deeply I want to connect with myself, how I feel on that day. So it's like a big catalog of different practices where I can just pick and choose whatever it is that I need on that day. And the retreat will include all of those practices. It will include everything I do. In the span of 5 days, you will dive into all of these practices with me. And then after the 5 days, you will also have that catalog of where you can choose from what you need in your life. So the retreat isn't just for you to feel amazing and to dive deep into your sensual self for those 5 days, even though of course it will be a very deep journey. But it will also just give you the tools that you need to connect to your feminine, to connect to your sensual self from that moment on and forever. And what's also going to be very, very special about the retreat is that every single class is designed to also work on its own. So every single yoga class, every single sacred ritual you can do after the retreat, after you finished it, you can watch that class, you can watch one of the yoga classes or one of the rituals, and you can just do it on its own and it'll completely work. Like it makes sense in it's like an own entity. And another very special thing is that every single class will be downloadable. So, which was very, very important to me. That was probably one of the most important things for me to gift to you, was that you were able to download all of the classes that you need, or all of the classes for that day, onto your computer, onto your phone, and then you can go into nature and do all of the practices there, if you choose to. So you can download it. You don't need internet to watch the classes. You can download it onto your phone, onto your computer, and you can just go wherever. It doesn't matter whether you have an internet connection or not, and do the classes there. And of course, most amazingly, you can do it in nature with me. So yeah, so excited. So excited. Thank you so much for listening to my ramblings. Wow, like I said, this is my first live, and it's just very intense, you know. I love reading all of your comments. I'm going to go back to the comments for a second. You will have lifetime access when you purchase the retreat. Yes. Like I said, you will be able to download the classes. You'll have them forever, and you can do them forever. And yes. Yeah. Okay. Let me go into some questions of the comments. My coffee is getting cold because I'm talking so much. Okay, so a question I also got many, many times is where I get my yoga mats and where I get my yoga clothes. So let's get into it. As many of you probably know from my videos, I love my mala yoga mats. So the more colorful ones, or like the flying carpet that I have, that one, and the one that looks like you painted on it. These are the mats that are from Mala. And they are my absolutely favorite yoga mats at the moment. And they're made out of a microfiber towel at the top and natural sustainable rubber at the bottom. And the yoga mats are also biodegradable, and they're also made from renewable raw materials. So all the good things that you need in a yoga mat. I love that they do have grip, especially when you wet your hands or when you wet the mat. They can be very grippy, but I also love the fact that you can sort of like slide around on them. Like you can sway from side to side, you can slide your hands back and forward, which is very suiting to my style of teaching, because that's what we do. As you know, if you've ever done a yoga class with me, you know that we like to slide around. So these mats are just so incredibly amazing. I can't say more good things about them. It's just, they're my absolute favorite. I love the company. I like their philosophy. I love the fact that they're sustainable, that it's biodegradable. I love the patterns and the colors. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Other than that, I have a jade yoga mat. lots of you probably know jade. And I really enjoy it too. It is very grippy. So whenever I feel like I don't want to like sway around too much and have a more of a fitness kind of yoga class, I like to go to my jade yoga mat. I got my jade yoga mat on the greenyogashop.com, which is like a German fairtrade online retailer that sells all kinds of different yoga mats and yoga clothes. They only ship in Europe though. They don't ship anywhere else, sadly. But they have lots of different brands that are all sustainable, which I love. So I get a lot of my yoga clothes from them as well, from this retailer. And before my Mala yoga mat, I also had the Lifeform mat. Lifeform is also a sustainable company, and they make really great mats. And the mat I had was the black version. They don't have too many colors, so if you go to their website, you'll probably see the black one. And it is very grippy, like super duper grippy, which I loved back then. And it lasted me for about 3 years before it was just, because it's also biodegradable, so it would just start to not be like in one, what am I saying? It just broke, okay? It just broke. But it was a very, very good mat. And when it comes to my clothes, I don't really have too many recommendations. There aren't that many. It's slowly coming that there are some companies out there who really care about sustainable yoga clothes, and especially on the Green Yoga Shop. It's called greenyogashop.com. This is where you can find some of the sustainable clothing brands. But what I also like and very much enjoy is Studio K. I think it's what it's called. It's a brand, and they are sitting in Bali, I believe. I'm not sure. And also Tiki. It's called TEEKI. Really enjoy their yoga clothes as well, because I have a yoga pants from them. Really beautiful colors and very colorful, and they're made out of recycled plastic bottles, which is a yes for me. But yes, that's pretty much it. I will leave all of the brands I talked about in the description area of the video, so you can check it out later. Yes. Okay, let's go back to the comments. Thank you. The idea of an online retreat is very unique. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, it is very unique. See, as you can tell by my videos, I don't just want you to get a workout in. That's not what yoga for me is about. I want you to really, truly connect to yourself and let go of the thought that you have to train your body, or you have to lose weight, or you have to blah, blah, blah. That you can just let that go and really dive into the mysteries of your own beautiful body, because there's so much depth there. There's so many answers lying within you, and I really want you to access that through yoga. And of course, that's difficult through a 30-minute online yoga class on YouTube. Although it can help. It is obviously helping, which I can see from all of your comments on the daily that I get. Thank you so much, by the way. But during a retreat, it's just, we can go so much deeper, and you will explore yourself so much more. And the beauty of the retreat is that it is not just yoga. It is so many different practices that we flow through, and that you can flow through on your own time, which is also amazing. So all of the class, nothing will be live. All of the classes will be pre-recorded. And like I said, you can download them. So you will have access forever, and you can do it in your own time, whenever you want. So you can plan, like next month, I'm gonna have a long weekend where I take Mondays off of work, and then I'm going to do the retreat for the 5 days. Because, so the way the retreat is structured is there will be a beautiful opening ceremony on day 1, and that will be it. So on day 1, you really don't need the entire day. You really just need like an evening to schedule the opening ceremony. And then we will have 3 full days of practices, which always includes a sensual morning yoga class, a sacred afternoon tea ritual, and an embodiment evening yoga class. This will be 3 days in a row. And then on the last day, we will have a full hour of super delicious yin yoga to integrate. And then after, you will have a short closing ritual. So really, you only need 3 days where you can really dive deep into the retreat, and the other days you can just start in the evening and you can end the retreat on the last day in the evening as well. But you could still go to work, you could still, live your life. You don't need to have like 5 days off to really dive into this retreat. And of course, the 3 practices that you do in one day, you could still go to work and then do one in the morning, do one after work, and then do one in the evening before you go to bed. It's your own choice. You can just plan your life around the retreat, and you can still reap all of the benefits from this program. Okay. So the retreat will hopefully, I'm saying hopefully because I am hoping that I will finish everything by next Sunday. It will hopefully go live next Sunday. I think I will finish it, pretty sure. But if it doesn't go live on Sunday, just know that I am at home, just working tirelessly, working all the time to create the beautiful retreat, and that it will go live either Monday or Tuesday after, or maybe the week after, like Wednesday. I don't know. I'm hoping it'll go live on Sunday. We will see. I don't want to rush it, because this retreat and the program is so beautiful and so special, and it will be there forever. Like it will exist in the universe of the internet forever. So I don't want to rush it just because I set a certain date on when it's going to be released, because it doesn't really matter in the long run whether I'll release it on Sunday or on Wednesday. It doesn't matter, because you will still dive so deep in this journey. And so yeah, it doesn't matter. I would rather have it perfect and just really include everything that I want and be created with a lot of intention and calmness than to rush the creation process just so that I can release it on the date that I say I would release it. Thank you so much, Tommy. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers to you. Cheers to all of you, of course. Okay, my loves. I'm going to slowly sign off. We've talked 50 minutes now. I know you asked so many beautiful questions in the comments, but I simply cannot answer all of them, obviously, because then we would be sitting here for 5 hours, which I'm sure some of you wouldn't mind, but I do because I have to keep creating the retreat for you guys. It was so much fun to do the live stream with you. I am 100% sure that I will do this on a regular basis now, because I just love that we can get to know each other a little bit more personal, because I know that, you spend so much time with me through the screen, and I know that you have this urge to get to know me deeper. I completely understand. I have the same with yoga teachers that I watch online. I want to know them deeper. I want to see whether or not their values are the same as my own core values. So I completely get it, and I would love to hang out with you more often on a more regular basis. And we will. Yeah, whenever I am planning the next live stream, I will let you know. I will already create it, and then you will see like the little icon. Yes, I hope some of you finished the coffee. Pretty sure you did, because you didn't talk as much as I did. Okay, the video will be saved on my YouTube. So you can, if you came to the live a little bit later, you can rewatch the part that you missed, because the video will be there forever and ever. Maybe not, but definitely now after the live, I will put it online and you can watch it. Okay, my friends. Yeah, it didn't feel like an hour, right? It's so crazy. I just kept talking. Thank you so much for everyone. I just keep looking at the comments. That's what I'm looking at, by the way. I love you. I truly love you so much, and I appreciate you so deeply. And I am so humbled by the fact that I get to be a part of your healing journey. Even if I'm just a fragment of a part of your journey, it is still so humbling to me, and I do not take that lightly, which is why everything I create, I want it to be truly magnificent, because I know that what you give me has so much value, and I just want to give that back to you. So I love you. Thank you for being here. Peace, Rachel. I love you, and I will see you hopefully next Sunday. Bye.